Out of curiosity, what's the name of the show?
The Go Hour.
But the big show.
Well, TexAgs Live. Now.
Hello, everyone. Welcome into TexAgs Rewind of the new TexAgs Live here in the Rollo Insurance Studio. The presenting sponsors are our good friends at Specs. And we had our very first day in the brand new studio. Luke, favorite part of the show, favorite part of just this vibe?
Favorite part of the show had to be Billy, for sure, bringing great insight and humor as always. The studio, it's hard to pick one favorite, but the graphics, I think on the back TV, it's so cool to watch like something in motion happen.
Yep.
Or like the big picture of Riley Leonard and Connor Wigman was super cool to see.
Nick, favorite part of the show today, buddy?
Favorite part of the show was trying to learn everything. It's a lot.
Yeah.
We're still learning. I already messed up in this rewind, but it's okay. We'll keep it in.
All good. So we're all on today's show. We have Billy Liucci.
Of course.
We have Tom Hart.
Of course.
We have Olin Buchanan.
Of course.
And we have
Jackie freaking Sherrill.
Jackie.
You kidding me?
Freaking Sherrill. Are you kidding Nick? No, we're not. It is the Rewind. Check it. Into the brand new TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner Jewelers in the brand new Rollo Insurance Studio. We call it the Go Hour, presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. It is still the same TexAgs radio, but it's a brand new season, guys. We've got a new head coach in football, got a brand new head coach in baseball. The season for football starts this week, Notre Dame. So we wanted to go bigger and better, and that's why they've created this amazing new studio for us to continue to deliver the top content in all of college sports media. So proud to be a part of this team, and we are really pumped to talk about it. 10 cameras in this studio. Now, we're going to try to work out some kinks, so in the very beginning, just bear with us. The sound, we'll have that fixed as the days go on, but we're super excited, and I think enough about this. You'll be seeing it. You'll be seeing all the changes. Hopefully, you're going to the YouTube page or TexAgs.com to take a look at the brand new studio, of course, to our friends at the CW. But with that, we're going to begin things with my man, I feel like SportsCenter, OB, Olin Buchanan, our Heisman Trophy voter, columnist extraordinaire. OB, welcome to TexAgs Live, buddy.
Yeah, I feel like I should be listening to the theme song from the Jeffersons. You know, we're moving on up.
We are moving on up.
Maybe we're going to get a piece of the pie.
Now, here's the deal. Usually, all the owners aren't watching at the exact same time, so we've got to be very careful on how we start off this show because there have been a couple FCC violations that they don't know about, but it's going to be fun, man.
Yeah, what are the odds that my first day in the new studio is also my last one, right?
Well, there's a meeting after the show. By the way, out of curiosity, what's the name of the show?
The Go Hour.
But the big show.
Well, TexAgs Live.
Oh,
now. Yeah, Coach Olin Buchanan here. My question for you is, look, obviously you coached a lot of teams, long time. Going into a season, can you get a feel before the season starts of quite frankly how good your team is, or even for a coach, does it take a few games before you get a sense of what you're working with?
Well, the old saying is your team improves more after the second game than the first. However, because of the interest, because of the national media, there's probably more national media that's going to be present at this game than probably any game in A&M history. I mean, around the country, and you look at all the big media people that are going to be in the attendance, and certainly ESPN, it's, the pressure is there, the expectation is there. So, as a coach, you really don't know until you line up and play. You've been practicing against each other, and you kind of feel, that this player is really a great player, or this player, or we need help in this position. I think probably, as we all know, the biggest question right now at A&M is going to be the offensive line.
100% agree with that. Jackie Sherrill with us here on TexAgs Radio, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. There's the one, TexAgs Live, I should say.
TexAgs Live.
Jackie, so how early in camp would you know if you had something special? Was it something that you would be able to identify very early, or is it something that you had to see it on the field for your great teams?
No, I mean, you can tell in practice. You can look at, let's just take a receiver, for example, or running back, defensive back, linebacker. You can just kind of go through each position, and you can tell, how the player is doing against all the offensive lineman, for instance, one particular against the defensive lineman, or vice versa.
When you're A&M, what should scare A&M about Notre Dame?
Well, I think the potential that Riley Leonard has, right, because he's a true dual threat quarterback, but he's still very inexperienced. And if you look at just the numbers, they don't jump out at you. Think about where we are in college football. Over the last 2 years, Notre Dame, to save its season or to build for a season, has turned to quarterbacks from Wake Forest, Sam Hartman, and Duke, and Riley Leonard. That is probably shows where they've been in terms of, recruiting at the quarterback position. So I think Riley only has like 24 total career touchdown passes. So, and Mike Elko certainly knows how to defend him, knows him well, knows what his strengths and weaknesses are. I think the concern is what Notre Dame has defensively. Howard Cross into his 6th season, preseason All-American on the defensive line. He had a hamstring during camp. No, I assume he's healthy and obviously will want to go in this one. I mean, this is one of the biggest games of the year for Notre Dame. They don't have a lot of big games on their schedule at all, and I think that's a concern for them in their at-large berth. They only play 8 games against Power 4 opponents. Army and Navy, neither one a true road game. One's in the Meadowlands. One is at Yankee Stadium, Army at Yankee Stadium. Northern Illinois and Miami of Ohio. Nobody else in the Power 4 only plays 8 games against Power 4 opponents. So this is a must-have game for Notre Dame if they want to make the playoffs. So I'd worry about the defensive line, Howard Cross. I think Benjamin Morrison, cornerback, potential first-rounder, looks good. Xavier Watts was a Nagurski Award winner as the best defensive player in college football last year, and he had 7 picks. I don't know if he gets back to 7 this year. But defensively, Notre Dame is a very good, solid, borderline elite team. Offensively, as you mentioned, brand new wide receiver room, new quarterback. I mean, I don't want to say it's a bad offensive line because we haven't seen these guys play together, but inexperienced. And David, I've seen SEC teams go into Kyle Field on a Saturday night facing a 3rd and medium or 3rd and long and absolutely crumble.
Versus year 1, but it's also year 3 for both of them in their
as
head
head coaches. Look, they went head-to-head last year, and Notre Dame won a thriller.
Yep.
I can remember watching that at the Avenue Sports Bar in Dallas. A lot of my friends frequent there, probably way too much. Probably need to be cut off. But watching that game, I think it was the same weekend as A&M Arkansas. If I were a betting man, we probably went from there to watch that game. But that was a hell of a football game. I know watching it, Duke should have won that game. You had a play on, I think, 4th and 18 there. That was a game where Riley Leonard got hurt. If they stop him 4th and 18, and as Elko and that whole Duke staff and any of those guys here know, in a game like that, they're probably picking any number of a dozen plays that win them that game. I thought they outplayed Notre Dame pretty much wire to wire, and that was with Riley Leonard, who's now Notre Dame's quarterback. This is all very confusing, playing for Mike Elko, who's now A&M's coach, against Marcus Freeman, who is not Marvin Freeman, but is still Notre Dame's coach. So all this stuff. But Duke should have won that football game. In that head-to-head, I think Mike Elko and his staff outcoached Freeman and that Notre Dame staff. They also went into a very hostile environment at Duke. It was a monster game. Duke had beaten Clemson earlier in the year at home. That place was going nuts, rabid. Guess what?
This place will too.
Guess what this place is going to be like Saturday night? except it's going to be 100,000+. I don't know how many Duke seats. My guess would be, I have no idea. The 50s?
54,000.
Is that what it is?
I'm just a total guess.
Here goes Luke. There he goes.
Stat
Let's
junkie
go,
Luke.
Luke. So, 35. Oh. 35. Wow. So anyway, 35,000 can get pretty loud when you pack them into a tiny
Sure.
set. That's like the Ole Miss effect. They don't have nearly as much as the other SEC stadiums. And Mississippi State, you pack them in there, it gets pretty damn loud. Although Mississippi State with the cowbells, kind of cheating. But I think Freeman has done a nice job at Notre Dame.
All right, let's close it out. Nick, I'm going to make this really easy for you. Let Cade tell the people what to do, because Cade is a good speaker.
All right, we can do that.
The people need to like, they need to comment, they need to subscribe, share with their friends. Brand new era, TexAgs Live. Love to see it.
Thank you, Cade. Thank you to everybody watching and listening. We'll see you next time.